All right, here we go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I'm excited. It's the big game today. I honestly don't even know if I'm allowed to legally say it. So I'm going to call it the Superb Bowl. I already messed it up, didn't I? The Superb Owl. I've always loved that joke, the Superb Owl. Instead of, I mean, honestly, even words now, people are just claiming onto their own, right? You can't say Super Bowl. It's like, what? So, yeah, it's the big game day, and we're here, and we're gathering. Yeah, so basically, as you've noticed, I have a brand new, back in college. Matt, hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us, man. You did your homework too? Okay, hey, that's good enough. Yeah, our homework for today, and thank you, Matt, for bringing it up, well, it's right over here. Got the CD. And look at this. I am both old school and new school at the same time. I have nowhere to put this, do I? Well, how's that for planning? Look at that. A post-it note, test for echo. Point it, it's right over here. I'll scrap that idea. So yeah, a test for echo. I want to talk about it. I think we need to talk about it. I have some thoughts on test for echo, new thoughts with regard to that era, the 90s, and kind of referencing that and cross-referencing that with the 80s. So we're going to talk about that. Also, a lot to catch up on. I have a story that just happened this morning. The most insane series of dreams I had this morning. And I woke up from them. And as my wife's like, she was like wondering what was going on. The point is, I don't want to get to the story right now, but I was practically in tears retelling this story of this dream. Mark, look at this. We got Matt in the house. We have Mark in the house. We have Ruben. Thank you guys for being here. That's awesome. I just pressed the wrong button. I did not mean to laugh at you guys. Hey, how about that? How about a cheer instead? Oh yeah, we're having fun already, aren't we? All right, let me shut that off. There we go. There we go. All right, so guys, thank you for being here. Yeah, I was just talking about dreams, and I was gonna bring this up actually. On my website is a blog that I did, and I called it, basically it's 50 dreams, 50 songs by Rush that mention the word dream. Can you believe there's 50 of them? At the time between 2000, Michael, hey, you made it. All right, we got our guy. Guys, this is Michael, and over in England, right, bud? Yeah, and I wanted to do this early enough to where you could join, and any of your patriots over there, over in Britain, our people across the pond. Of course, you know I'm in the States. So, guys, thank you for being here. Awesome. Michael, I'm glad you're here, bro. Awesome. So back to dreams. Yeah, I kept a dream journal from 2017 to 2020. It was almost like someone turned on the spigot. Outside. And by the way, guys, let's do one more thing. Hey, check this out. We have, and I'm not showing Michael there, but hopefully that'll scroll down. Give me a second here. Got some live, real-time adjustments happening. And there we go. How's this for a professional, guys? Not. There we go. Hey, how's that? Better. All right, guys, so now we have chat on the screen. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So, your garden hose, okay? Not garden road, garden hose outside your house. You turn the little thing, right? Turns on the hose. As if, water just comes blasting out. That's how dreams were. Between 2017 and 2020, I can't explain why. I have no idea why. And we all dream every night. And I find dreaming and dreams endlessly fascinating. I find them endlessly... Is that cheer still going? Holy crap, guys. We're running a tight ship here. Guys, my apologies. Please, don't leave. I beg you not to leave already because of this bonehead who kept those buttons up for so long. Okay, take a breath. All right. Apologies for that. I try to be professional here, and I just messed all that up. Sorry, guys. Okay, back to dreams without the cheering and the laughing happening at the same time. I mean, this is going to be a classic video. Feel free to pull some clips and embarrass me all you want. So between 2017 and 2020, wow. I kept dreaming over and over. And what's more important is we dream every night, right? And I think that's scientifically proven. However, when you remember them, so I kept a dream journal. After a while, it became like I had to keep a journal. So I have a dream journal that has well over 1,000 dreams documented. I would get up in the middle of the night, and at the time, even back then, 2017 to 2020, I'd have a little Bluetooth keyboard in the bathroom next to my bedroom, and I'd be typing out the dream. I had to keep a log of this insane spigot that was turned on, these dreams. And sometimes I'd have multiple parts. I'd wake up, go back to sleep, and continue a dream. And the point is, it was just over and over, dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. So I kept a journal of that. And that made me question, okay, I knew many Rush songs contain the word dream in them and the concept of dreaming. So I went through and I found at least 50. And I wrote a blog about it. And it's on my website. And in this blog, I outline all these different Rush songs that mention dreams. And of course, you know that dreaming there's different ways to use that. There's actually we dream at night, but also I can dream of a better day. Or in Back to the Future, when his mom, he goes back in time and the mom sees him on a skateboard and she turns to her friend, isn't he dreamy? So there's all these different ways in which we can use. I do not lucid dream. I'm glad you brought that up. Lucid dreaming is something that actually fascinates me, and I have not tried it. Most recently, it's a dude at work, Sean at work, at the steakhouse where I work. He mentioned that he lucid dreams, and fascinating. Great question, Matt. I have not lucid dreamed, or nor have I tried. So the point is, guys, there's that blog about dreaming, and I find it endlessly fascinating. Fast forwarding to this morning. I don't even know how to tell this story, so I've been thinking all day, how do I tell this in a concise way, but also that it makes sense, both in a grand scheme and in a linear kind of storytelling sense. Wow, there's some insider baseball. And here's the point. I had many dreams last night, and I remember several of them. One of the dreams was, say, in the halls of Parliament, or like over in Britain, or here in the U.S., our Senate or the House, where typically you have two major forces conflicted and divided, right? Here it's the Republicans and Democrats. Over there you guys have Michael, you could help me with this, your two major or three major parties in Britain. And a lot of countries have different parties to represent the people, to represent different sets of it. You know how this works. Okay. So in my dream, though, things had gotten so divisive and so contentious between these two sides that they were putting up these weird statues. And on one side, they were almost demonic, and on another side, they were like patriotic. And I'm not saying which side was which. And they had different lighting to represent their sort of side. So that was one dream. And I'm in the halls of this Congress, and the halls of this Parliament. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that contention, right? These fighting, that it was so contentious. I don't like, why can't we use common sense and come together and help the people? Like that doesn't, instead of this just like warring just to be warlike. It's all right. That's dream. Then I had another dream about how New York City had shifted. And I'm not talking about climate change. No, not at all. I'm talking about almost like the planet had rotated somewhat off its axis, in that New York City was now in that part of the region of the world. Okay, just draw a band around it. All right, whatever's in that lateral sense was now near the polar ice cap. All right, near the North Pole, and freezing became a deal. And like airline flights was a big deal. Okay, how do we cross over this safely? It's so cold. Can the planes? So that was the gist of it. It was like a logistics thing. And like a national and global security thing. Can we fly over? So what a weird dream. And literally on this, now I'm on the plane. I'm physically on the plane. We're flying over the North Pole, which basically at that point was like New York City. As if, again, the planet had shifted some. Another weird dream. And then I had another dream that was kind of like on the home front. All right, in our house or in a family gathering. So these three different things in a halls of government, in one in an airplane, and then one at home somewhere. All these different stages, all these different dreams. And then it wasn't till the final dream when I'm on the airline. I can't believe I'm about to tell this. I'm on the airplane. Oh my goodness! Here we go. Here we go. It's gonna be really sophomoric and childish, but why not? And on the on the airplane, my youngest son. I'll omit his name. He's 11. I won't even mention his name now because I'm there with like leaders on an airplane, right? And I'm helping them to figure out, all right, how can we deal with these flights and how can we deal with the airlines, and maybe this has to do with the news of the day, right? All the airline stuff and so I'm in an intense meeting with these people, and then I realize that everyone starts moving away from this part of the plane. We're literally in flight, and I realize that my son had broken wind, a silent but deadly. Crop dusted us, if you, and we all cleared out like we couldn't. And then I started to realize that each one of my dreams, my son was there, farting in the room and making so in the halls of Congress or Parliament, my son was there, and people would just clear out and clear the entire room. And like he was like this spectral agent, right? This ghost-like agent moving from dream to dream and clearing out rooms with this horrible flatulence. I woke up and I'm telling my wife about this, and I can't believe that it just happened. I can't believe I'm just in tears and hysterics and lying in bed still. I'm like, babe, I can't believe, like, I could not believe what happened. How I have this spectral being moving from dream to dream and clearing out rooms with his gas. It's just, what's going on? It tells you how mature I am. As I've told my kid before, I might be 50, but inside I'm still a 12-year-old. I'm still a kid. And clearly I dream like that. Oh my goodness. So there you go. My dreams are literally haunted by the ghosts of Christmas gas. Amazing. Amazing. Anyway, I don't, maybe it's funnier to me, but there you go, guys. That's how I woke up today. That's how I woke up today. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Aaron, hey, thank you, guy. Thank you for being here. Common sense, helping the people. Doesn't sound like anything British. Yeah, doesn't sound like politics over here in the States either, does it? I think some people are trying to go back to common sense, but yeah, right? It just drives me nuts. You know, they're doing this and tearing at each other's throats, and we're all waving our hands going, we need help out here. All right. Enough politics. Hey, Aaron, thanks for being here. Hello. Hey, man. And guys, thank you for doing some homework. I've read that a couple of you have. Let's see. I was initially let down after counterparts, but not so bad. Okay, so I'm already getting some feedback. Rick, hey, thanks for being here. I like Test for Echo. Sounded much more... All right, so yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about. Test for Echo. And really, this is an echo, this topic, because a couple of you mentioned it recently in the comments. You've mentioned Test for Echo. And one specifically was something to the effect like, I haven't recovered since Test for Echo, or somewhere along those lines. Meaning, you know, a negative connotation. So yes, earlier I had my headphones on in the living room. I was doing some work on my laptop and I was listening to the album in preparation for this. My counterpart, my foolish heart. I love that line. Matt says that was Aaron, my counterpart, my foolish heart. Matt says many of my dreams take place in my 20s with friends. Yes. During those 3 years in which I kept dreaming and I kept the journal, many of my dreams harken back to that younger self. Interesting, huh? And that begs a whole series of questions. And guys, just bear with me, right? We're going to kind of snake in and out, if you will. Not so much arrow-like, but snake-like in and out of topics. So I know you're here for the ride. But yeah, I had many dreams. And another dream is I've had lots of flying dreams. Okay. And one of which was is a weird little dream. I held like two good, like say D cell batteries, but more like 5 inches long. And the tighter I gripped these D cell, like these large batteries in my hands, the higher I could float, right? I could literally float and levitate off the ground. So I've had many flying dreams. And I think there's a whole science and theory behind that as well. So, and let's see. Rick says, I have 4 Rush albums, and I don't like a part from the song or two, but Test for Echo isn't one of them. Yeah. That's a consensus among, that's why I wanted to bring it up. Aaron, it's worse than that. They're laughing at you. Is that, did I miss a line? Okay, I should stop reading these verbatim when I'm not even caught up. I like every album post Roll the Bones only because they're, yeah. I'm a huge fan of modern Rush. Me too. And in fact, that kind of is my barometer. So, I have my phone or I grab a CD or whatever it might be, whatever format, either digitally or whatever that I want to listen. When I notice that I gravitate naturally in my desire to hear certain songs, they do tend to go towards a more modern Rush. That's in what you said there. Yeah, what you said there, Matt, is kind of the gist of that. And I don't know why. Maybe it's about sound quality and fidelity, although the old albums sound amazing. It's not that. And Rush has given us so many remastered albums, so I'm not saying that there's a difference in quality. Modern production techniques, but yeah, maybe you've nailed it. Harder, metal, like, yeah. I tend to gravitate towards that kind of as well. So Matt flies off in his dreams. Rick and Backer. Not enough proggy stuff, bits and roll the bones counterparts for my liking. You guys can read this. And too much range for my taste. That's another topic. It's Game's fault. It was a producer. Okay. All right. So, Test for Echo. All right. Yeah, here it is. And by the way, here is, I saw them at Reunion Arena on December 3rd, 1996. Which, by the way, if I was at December 3rd, 1996, and saw them at Reunion in Dallas, then that means that was like, I got married on December 28th, 96. So a pretty good month for me, right? I got a major upgrade in roommates, my wife, and I saw Rush. Come on. Yeah, but so Test for Echo, I listened to this earlier. And I'm going to get to a bigger thought in a minute about eras of Rush, okay, 80s, 90s. But let me tell you what I felt in the moment, because that is important. Music touches us at our deepest cores, right, guys? And what I felt in the moment was I almost was brought to tears a few times listening to those songs. And of all songs, Color of Right. Right? Yeah. Yeah, The Color of Right. Not their best song, arguably. I mean, come on. There's some lines in that song that are just incredible. But it's, I think, again, like counterparts. Matt, like you talking about how your dreams are thinking back to those college. Well, guess what? I was in my college years. Roll the Bones, counterparts, Test for Echo. The formative part of my life, rapid, massive changes in my life. Oh, unthinkably, since high school, it's crazy to think that from like I was 18 or 19 and when I graduated high school, that within 2 to 3 years, when I'm 21 years old, my entire world flipped and I found out about my neck and the surgeries. I got married the same year, and it's just crazy, isn't it? What a couple of years difference makes in our lives. Insane. And you guys know that. How you just think back and go, 2 years, I didn't know this, I didn't know this person, this hadn't happened to me, I didn't have this health issue, I didn't have this job, or I got fired along the way. Massive life changes can happen just the turn of a dime, the turn of a couple years, a couple trips around the sun. So really, yeah, I was getting choked up a little bit, which I do. All right, so I'm hearkening back to college years, but also I'm thinking in that moment, though, that like I do often with Rush music, like I've mentioned to you guys in the comments many times, I think this is the last. I mean, no more. I'm not going to get another Neil Peart lyric like this. I'm not going to get another masterful music, music from Geddy and Alex, or these drum parts from Neil, and this insane syncopated rhythm, and all the, you know what I mean? I'm not going to get Rush. And here I am trying to list all. I can just say the word Rush. You guys know what I'm saying, and it's nuts. I mean, therefore, it just evokes emotions like that. And no longer am I like I don't pretend to be a tough guy, but I'm brought to a sniveling guy who starts to cry. All right, let's catch up with the comments here. So that's take one. I have more in a moment on Test for Echo. I have a thought. Rick, I don't like the multiple layer guitars and vocals and oh, interesting thoughts on counterparts. The multiple layer guitars doesn't care for that. A cluttered sound with too much. I'm glad you said that. Let me circle back to that in a second. Can't we all just get along? Yeah. Rodney, was it Rodney King? Right? Something like that? Okay. Let's, forget that. For me, Test for Echo had great moments in the songs. Not just, this is Michael talking. Not the songs as a whole. Good take. That's sort of like what Rick said about counterparts. Resist is ridiculous. Totem half the world, but the parts of the others. Yeah, as I was listening, I had some headphones on today, right? I wanted to listen to it in a headphone environment, and a lot of times you can pick up nuances or lack thereof. So I'm listening to Test for Echo, and I found that I could hear Geddy's bass part, whether it's the first track or it doesn't matter what track, right? But it's buried so much in the mix. Am I right? And guys, let me know if I'm onto something, because his bass part, because I could hear it, right? He was doing an amazing, awesome bass riff or bass line, and then guess what though? It was buried in the crunch of Alex's guitars or drums or whatever the mix is doing at the time, and I wanted that brought some more to the forefront. I believe when we got that after Test for Echo, right? And whether Clockwork Angels, pretty amazing. Very amazing, really. Snakes and Arrows, beautifully produced. So yeah, that was my take there. Yes, Breaking Wind. I'm gonna regret telling that story, but I don't. I don't care. I know. Here I'm like dancing around the topic, right? The fact that my kid is haunting multiple dreams and breaking and farting and clearing out rooms. You'll have to watch if you guys are just catching up with it. You'll have to catch up with this later. So, Test for Echo. Here's another thought, and I want to know what you guys think. It is long and storied that the '80s albums were, and I'm just quoting now, drenched in keyboards, as some people called it, a move towards that, using synths, using sequencers, and different new methods, right? And Geddy's experimenting, and that's great. We went on that journey with him, and I enjoy a lot of that journey. I'm not knocking it whatsoever. However, even Geddy admits, I believe in Beyond the Lighted Stage, that Hold Your Fire went too far. Moved Rush into what Geddy coined as a jazzier, softer space. Yeah, definitely. And then guess what? Rush then reinvented themselves and changed everything in their dynamics. So we brought it to a point with Hold Your Fire. Okay, so that was the 80s. But I'm wondering if we could argue the same evolution, except this time influenced by grunge. Okay? The predominant music of the day, the revolution of Nirvana, and the whole Seattle sound. Yeah. The beautiful thing about Rush is that their ear is to the ground. They're listening to contemporary music. They always have. And therefore, they're influenced by it. But they're always Rush. Right? It doesn't change who they are. This is undeniably a Rush song or a Rush album, whether it's a synth-driven stuff in the 80s or maybe a grunge-influenced crunchy guitars. And now the only thing is, though, a lot of that Seattle stuff had really predominant bass, right? And anyway, that's just my take, though, is like I'm relating the 80s and the 90s. And of course, we did have a major reset. I'm going to catch up with your comments in just a second. That major reset, of course, were the Ghostwriter years. I reset that almost was the demise of Rush, but they came back. And with Vapor Trails, you listen to the first track and all the way through this album, and they sound like an angry young garage band just wanting to be heard again, right? There's this energy and this rawness to Vapor Trails, and I love it. I love a lot of stuff off of Vapor Trails. So yeah, that's kind of my general thought, right? I'm relating the 80s and the 90s and two different musical styles that may have influenced them. And then guess what? We've done enough. Let's go and reinvent. So that's a thought. All right, so yeah, I love Stick It Out. I covered that in college. I'm just catching up, guys. They had mix issues, yes, I know, with Vapor Trails. That's why we got the remix versions, right? I'm told, let's see, some advice. Yes, I mean, we got that remix, which is awesome. I own that, of course, like you guys do. Local Pyro, hey, thank you for joining us, man. Signals was the best bounce between... Yeah, Signals was fantastic. We all know. Yeah, thank you for saying that, bro. Michael, I think Test for Echo has the weakest opening song. So really, you don't care for Test for Echo, okay? It's the best. Yeah, I can hear that. And he said, all right, so bit disjointed for me, says Michael. Think of some of the great opening songs of their album. So, yeah, okay. If we're going to compare you're right, every opening song, then yeah, it does coming down kind of far down the totem pole there. Rick and Bacher, Half the World is a great, it's great. When I hear Peaceable Kingdom, it sounds like they're about to go off into Half World. I'm thinking about the song in my head. How's that for Dead Air Silence? I like a lot of Peaceable Kingdom. Yeah. And that's on Test for Echo, right? No, whoa, no, we've just transitioned to Vapor Trails. I know, I'm questioning stuff. Yeah, that's on Vapor. We can talk Peaceable Kingdom. Great song. Talk of a Time Without War, the one we wish would hear us. Haven't heard it all before. Great song. Yeah, Vapor Trails, major. Yeah, definitely. And you guys responding to each other, awesome. Not a Rush quote. Which one? Which one's not a Rush quote? The title song took some time to grow on me. Are we talking? Oh, yeah. I love Vapor Trails. To me, since we're on it, let's go there. The title track, Vapor Trails, to me is this beautiful honoring of the power and majesty of nature. To me, that's how it's lyrically, and the music, I believe, kind of backs that up. So yeah, I love the Vapor Trails song. One with who said that? Yeah, Matt. It took, if you were talking about the title song Vapor Trails, yeah, it took some time to grow on me as well. And yet it did grow on me, and I grew to love it as one of my favorites. It definitely off of that album. Okay, so Matt, you're talking Test for Echo. Oh, you're talking. Okay, thank you. I'm catching up, guys. Doing the best I can to read your comments. Awesome. So that's my take on Vapor Trails, and I want to hear more. I'm sorry, Test for Echo. So yeah, I saw them in '94, and guys, keep plugging in some comments there. In one of my recent videos, you guys may recall the one where I kind of did a lyrics deep dive. I spoke about virtuality and how, and I think that song is important because of how it completely and beautifully predicted where we are now. And he could see the virtual writing on the wall in that moment to see, like, where could this head, right? And that's what virtuality, that's why that kind of brings up. But Resist is classic, timeless, and beautiful. Limbo, got that. And sometime I want to talk about the last tracks on many Rush albums. But that's a whole nother topic. Say you take Carve Away the Stone. By the way, I'm holding right here. I'm holding Snakes and Arrows. And see, I saw them at Woodlands Pavilion, which I believe was down in Texas in August 14th, 2017. So yeah, there it is. And that's where I keep my concert tickets, by the way, guys. I keep them inside my CD cases. So they're always handy. But yeah, An Evening with Rush. But yeah, the last track on here, of course, is We Hold On. I've noticed it, and this is probably completely subjective. what I'm about to say. But I would love, like, I should make my own compilation of the final songs on Rush albums, right? And to me, lyrically and kind of musically, there's almost a thread between them, not about any specific subject. It's more a feel to it. You probably think I'm crazy, but it's really hard to define. I probably shouldn't have brought it up now. So, I, Michael says Peaceable Kingdom was originally an instrumental, but after 9/11. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. After 9/11, Neil wrote some lyrics around that. Cool. Aaron, she probably smelled better. Are we talking about roommate upgrades? Smelled? Okay. Yeah. I don't mind saying you're right, if that's what you're saying. Um, yeah, I love We Hold On Too. I do too. Virtuality. Yes, virtuality is on Test for Echo. Yep. Yeah, since we're talking about first track, of course, Test for Echo. Second one is Driven. Great song. They made a music video for that. They made a video for Half the World. Back in the days where you had to make videos, right? I know we still do, but not as much. I miss music videos, especially well crafted ones. The Color of Right, Time in Motion. I love Time in Motion. I love that song. Totem, Dog Years, which is a weird little throwaway song. I just noticed I have a concert ticket on the back as well. Weird. Is that where? Oh, that is where I kept it. Okay, sorry. And then Virtuality, Resist, Limbo, and Carve Away the Stone. Yeah, so those are the tracks off of Test for Echo. You guys probably knew that, but since you were talking about Net Boy, Net Girl, I can taste her perfume. I can smell her perfume, taste her lips, fingers. Yeah. Could there anybody album? All right, this is Michael. Could there be a better album closer than Natural Science? So yeah, you're talking. Yeah, I mean both album and song. You guys, I've stated it many times. Natural Science is up there. I can't list the top 5 to 10. That's impossible, but Natural Science is up there. To me, it's the quintessential Rush song. Love Natural Science. Yeah, Spirit of Radio. Classic. Amazing song. And in Spirit of Radio even becomes, because we can talk about it. A lot of people know Spirit of Radio like they do Tom Sawyer. People know, meaning people outside our subset of Rush loving people, right? They know certain songs that have just been played on the radio. They're part of that consciousness of normal quite people. And hey, look at that, I got a light. So but Spirit of the Radio is name checked in that list, right? If you say, hey, name me a Rush song to Joe Blow on the street who's not a fan, they probably could name you Spirit of Radio. However, take a step back. Forget that everyone knows it and go, that's a freaking amazing song, right? And that's what I want to do. And that's what I love, that when we talk about Tom Sawyer, we can go, oh, ho-hum, everyone knows it. Step back and take a closer look, and Tom Sawyer is mind-blowing. And come on. So, and that's what I love to do. It's just like, let's not just dismiss it, because although I think that's what we do naturally. We hear that the general, the people out there like it, and then we want to dismiss it. At least I do, because I'm a snob. You know that. Natural Science or La Via? Hey, that's a great question, Rick. Natural Science or La Via for best album closer? Can we put together? Man, why not? Yeah, guys, let Rick know. That's a great. If my dad was in the room, I'd say La Via, because he loves La Via. Me, it's Natural Science. It just is. Lyrics are way too important to me, so I'd have to pick. Love Available Light. See, I love that you guys are picking up on my final song thing. Yeah. I can't, it's this like indefinable thing, very subjective, just like, but I know that with so many of, especially the more modern albums, right? That final track is different somehow. I can't name it. Available Light, it better be the last track. Otherwise, I'm speaking like an idiot here. I think it is. Yes, it is from Presto. All right. Yeah, both are amazing. Hey, Ruben. Yeah, exactly, dude. Cool. Yeah, so we got a Lavia from local Pyro. Yeah, I mean, Lavia is storied and incredible, and and so is Natural Science. Now, I guess if you were gonna go all time, then maybe yeah, you would gravitate towards Lavia, right? But it is an instrumental, and I tend to kind of separate them into two camps. That's why your question is insanely. It's complicated. It's hard to do. So, hey, which one has decent keyboards? We talking about? Is that available live? I'm not sure. Just reading your comments, guys. So there you go. If I were to name, you know, my all-time favorite albums, no, Test for Echo would not be one of them. And yet, when I listen to it, which brings me to a point that it's nearly impossible for me to objectively do what we're doing now. Take a closer look. I feel intimately close to every Rush album, every Rush song. I think you guys know what I'm saying and can sympathize with what I'm saying. So therefore, it's very difficult for me to take another look at an album because the second I start listening to it, like all great music, I'm connected to the past, connected to who I once was, to these sets of memories, and all these different things. And so therefore, it's extremely difficult to go, okay, wait a second. How good is this album? And does it stand up? And so it's hard. It's hard. Thank you for helping me suss this out. Yeah. Yeah, I was mentioning that earlier, that Aaron sang Stick It Out as a grunge song. Yeah, definitely in that wheelhouse. Yeah, Rickenbacker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rick is saying I didn't mean to choose between two closers because I can't. Yes, exactly. To my point earlier, just mentioning them as my top two, and that's what I have to do. It's like this freewheeling, floating list of what the cream settling to the top of something, like the best of how and that can change from day to day, year to year, month to month, week to week. And that's why it's very difficult to choose them. Yeah, okay, so Aaron likes the Test Record song. Ghost Rider was an ex. Yeah, on the topic, I have Ghost Rider right over here to my right. And Ghost Rider was an insanely important book, well written book, and as I've mentioned before, a very difficult book to read. And but yeah, great book. And let me know what you guys think. Ghost Rider the song was something that definitely had to grow on me. And there's another song that's in that wheelhouse. Let's see. It's a Ghost Rider. It's Working Them Angels. Okay? Even to this day, Working Them Angels off of Snakes and Arrows isn't my favorite song. It has grown on me over time because it's Rush. But yeah, Working Them Angels, I still struggle because really, I think that was one of those cases where they may have had music, or conversely, Neil had a written piece, like a poem kind of thing, about Working Them Angels. I think this is a story. And then they made music for it, and Geddy insisted we have to make a song out of this. That doesn't mean it's not good. I believe Rush can take any lyric and make some amazing music for it because that's called talent, and they can do that. But yeah, I still struggle with Working Them Angels. Do I love what Working Them Angels is about? Yes. I love the message in it and the lyrics of it. But it's the mirroring of the two, musically and lyrically, that I still struggle with. That's just me. So love to know what you guys think. Oh, cool. You're Ruben saying he's reading Ghost Rider now. That's awesome. It's great, buddy. Between the Wheels and Something for Nothing at Bang. Yeah. Yes, they are. I love Between the Wheels. I've mentioned that before. Totally, Michael. Thank you. Yes. Okay, guys. All hail local pyro. Thank you, bro. Thank you for saying that. And by the way, guys, thank you for your input. All of you so far. You guys have been amazing. Thank you. Okay, I'm enjoying this immensely. But it's not about me and my enjoyment. I hope that you guys are enjoying talking to each other. Geddy's book. I can show you right now that my wife heard that I wanted to read it. You guys have mentioned it to me so many times in the comments that right here, guys. So she's like, "Why don't you just go over to Audible and get Geddy's book?" So I did. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. So thank you very much for bringing it up. You guys have said it to me, and I've been listening, but I've been kind of busy too. But you guys have just been saying that you have to hear this, you have to read this, and so and so. And you were right. Ridiculous. I listened to one of the last chapters, and Geddy is describing how processing the loss of Neil was difficult, and one of the main reasons was he was cremated. There was no official memorial. So Geddy is telling the story of how he goes to LA, to Neil's house. And Carrie had arranged, Neil's wife, had arranged to have Neil's road case, right? His locker, his home away from home, brought inside their house at the edge of the living room for their essentially what's a wake for Neil. And first of all, of course, Geddy and Alex went there to be with Neil's parents, I believe, Olivia, his daughter, Carrie, his wife. And Geddy's just saying, again, I'm talking about my effing life. I'm talking about Geddy's book. He's saying how difficult and weird, strange, that he's in Neil's house and Neil's not there. That he expected, and I believe this is a quote, at any moment, Neil had passed away at this point. They're there for the wake. He expected Neil to come lumbering down the stairs to open the door and give him a massive hug. Wow. To be Geddy and Alex in that moment, extremely, it's difficult to lose anyone, right? Of course. But I thank you guys for suggesting this, for suggesting me getting this book. I have it on audio. I'll get the real copy at some point. It was a couple clicks away when she's like, "Hey, go get it," because she had a couple credits. The point is, I made it happen, and I made it happen within a couple minutes. I got the book. My point is, though, I didn't know what I was missing, and you guys have been trying to tell me, and you were right. I was missing a major part of the overall story of Rush, and therefore, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to read Geddy's memoir. And we can talk about it more. I'm just letting you know that I have it. And that already within moments of just hearing that one chapter, I was changed. And my outlook on everything changed. And to have more of that story was incredible and valuable to me. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know. I got Geddy's book. I look forward to the entire read. I kind of skipped to the end, because there were certain things I wanted to know, the stuff I just told you, and it's just I feel better for knowing that now. So anyway, I want to let you guys know that, and let me know if you've read Geddy's book. I know many of you have. And Local Pyro, you're saying it was outstanding. Where do I put my CDs? They are. I can answer that right now in real time. Hold on, guys. This can be. Watch this for sharing. Somebody put my phone on. There we go. So to answer your question, all right, here we go. All right, so guys, my CDs. That is what you asked, right? Yeah. All right. My CDs are on a shelf. I just took a picture right now with my phone. That entire row right there is Rush. And actually, there's several that aren't even in there. The entire shelf is taken up of Rush CDs. compilations live. There's solo stuff in there from Victor to My Favorite Headache. Now below that, these CDs right below that in the shelf that are horizontal, that's all Dream Theater and Rush. So sorry, Dream Theater and Yes. So this entire shelf is Rush, and that entire shelf below that is Dream Theater and Yes. You can tell what I like, right? And then nearby would be some of my other favorite bands. So yeah, there you go. That's me answering the question. Now you know where I keep my CDs. And like in our last live stream, I was hunched over here trying to find counterparts because I wanted you to show you the ticket, like I have right here for Test for Echo. I have my counterparts ticket inside the CD case. Still can't find it. I have no idea where my counterpart CD is. I was looking before we started this right now. So given how much I love that album, given that it has my concert ticket, I really hope I can find it. Let's get caught up here. I'm reading your comments, guys. I wish I could own CDs, books, vinyls, but yeah, hey, on a sailboat spot. Yeah. So do you live on a sailboat, Ruben? Do you actually live on it? And all right, help me out. I gotta know something. Ruben, are you the same? Because usernames and stuff can differ, right? Bear with me, guys. I want to look something up because it's important. Are you the guy that has a sailing channel? I'm trying to find your username on here. Yeah, all right. Ruben, are you the same as Sailmore? Let me know. If not, okay, you also live on a sailboat. And so anyway, assuming you actually live on, it sounds like you do. That's so cool, by the way. A dream of mine to live on a boat, right? So romantic. In that grand adventure, kind of a romantic definition. So cool. Matt Baker. I still have to read all of Neil's and Geddy's books. I intend to. Yeah, good call. There's so many books to read from Neil. I have Ghostwriter here. Over here in this shelf, I have Masked Rider, Clockwork Angels. I don't need to list them all for you, just letting you know. But behind me, I have his Far and Away books. I have 3 of them. Or I think there were just 3. So, which was a collection of like his blogs, but put into book form. But yeah, definitely a great read and teaches you and tells you so much about who Neil is or was. So really good reads. Espanol. See that? Sing this next to the last song of Farewell to the Kings. Matt's like, to the answer to the question, where do you keep your CDs? Matt says on a shelf. There we go. That's actually a great place to keep them. Good job, Matt. All right. Aaron, see, all Rush albums are entertaining. Yes, definitely. Oh, that's a biting comment. Yeah, well, that's what we've been talking about, right? Very good. Cool. So yeah, Ruben, I want to know about the sailboat thing. Let me read that out again. For you guys can read it, but for those who aren't looking at chat right now, I wish I could own CDs, vinyl, books, but I live on a sailboat. Yeah, so you do. So I want to know: are you the same guy that I've been? My wife and I moved. Okay, so here's an answer with regard to. My wife and I moved from San Francisco to North Carolina because we bought a new sailboat so we can cruise the Caribbean. Yes, Eric, that's me. Oh, so okay, so thank you. All right, so you are the Sailmore. All right, cool. Anyway, dude, awesome that you're here. And again, different names. I want to make that connection. Thank you. Yes, Masked Rider. All right, if you were here for the beginning of the show, watch it sometime if you missed it. I told a story, and that story, part of the central crux of it had to do with gas, breaking wind, my kid farting. Wow, we're getting... So point is, I bring that up for this reason. Masked Rider. Neil is riding around Africa, right, on his bicycle. These insanely difficult legs of this massive journey. And the best refreshment he can hope for is a Fanta, a warm one, beside the side of the road. That was the treat after riding like 30 miles, all right, on his bicycle tour in Africa. that Neil would put himself through that, right? This is Neil Peart. Is insane, but cool. It says a lot about who he was. But moreover, back to the gross part of what I just mentioned, the fact that Neil Peart, he talks about how he would get into a motel, but this motel in the very loosest definition of the term, a rented room with open windows, no screen, no glass, a bucket for a toilet, a bucket, a metal bucket in the corner for a toilet. And I imagine the food had some issues there. The local water, that's why he drank warm Fanta to keep himself hydrated. And all right, Neil talks about how he'd ride 30 miles and spend the whole night purging himself into a bucket. No. I'd have to be, I can't imagine it, right? This is Neil Peart. Our drummer, the guy who takes a stage in front of countless fans around the world, right? The rock star in their own way, right? They're rock stars. He's riding a bike and having to go to the bathroom and relieve himself at night in a bucket. I mean, it just blows my mind. So yes, guys, if you haven't read it, The Masked Rider, there's a lot more there than a bucket for a toilet, but that's always sticks in my brain. That Neil chose that for himself, that adventure. Again, using adventure in the loosest term possible, right? Crazy. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're getting going. All right, Local Pyro. My first Rush album was 2112. Mine too. Ruben. Okay, so there's the thing. Now, see, now getting caught up. The great thing about farting on an airplane is that nobody... I know. I can't believe I just said it so quickly. Between the noise of the plane, the thick seats to muffle it all, the sound. Yeah, you're surrounded by 50 people. You're right, Ruben. That is the great thing about farting in an airplane. Complete anonymity. Complete. You can crop desk and okay, wow. I've always said there's a reason why everyone laughs when someone farts in a room. It's because it is the universal language of comedy. Around the world, I could travel to Asia, to Africa, to India, to Canada, to England. I could go to South America and visit some... I could go anywhere in the world. I could go to the polar ice caps, to Antarctica. And you fart in a room, and everyone's going to laugh. Doesn't matter what language. It crosses all language barriers. It is the universal comedy around the world. Universal. Even for the most stuffy librarian type or Karen type, it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Farting makes people laugh, or at least gets a good smirk out of them. So, yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Ruben. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Stargazer. Hey, bro. Thanks for being here, man. Yes, good Sunday to you. Good Sunday to you. Hey, guys, Stargazer's here. Thank you, man. Mountain, the Fountain Lameth is underrated sonic experience that equals Hemispheres. It is a great song. Great friggin' song. Or 21. I agree. It's, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can make like a top 5 list of these epic songs like that, right? The Fountain and Lameth, 2112, Hemispheres, okay? The fact that Rush has written more than one of those is mind-boggling. But they have a list of them. So thank you for bringing it up. Thank you, Stargazer. Been there, done that. Neil's bucket thing, have you? I bet, man. I bet you have some tales to tell. Tales to tell. Especially given, some of the stuff you told me last time. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. It's funny. I brought that up last time, didn't I? I brought up Dire Straits. That ain't working. Let's see. Michael, 10:30. Okay, yeah. Thank you for the time. Hey, guys. Michael's over in England. It's 10:30. You got to get off to bed. Hey, Michael, thank you for being here. I did my darndest to make this for a time slot in which I hoped you'd be able to join us. And dude, it means a lot. I know that you wanted to be here last time. Thank you, Michael from England. I appreciate you, bro. All hail, Michael. Thank you for being here. You have a good night, sir, and we'll catch you next time around. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, cheers, Michael. I agree. All right, Cask of 49. Help me out there. Are we talking alcohol? Or you meant to say class of 49? All right, I'll catch up in a moment. Something for nothing. Yeah. Yes, you have to get Geddy's book. And this is coming. It was 2 days ago that I got it for the first time. I know it's only on Audible for now, but I quote have it, meaning I can now hear the story for now. I'm going to read it, but this is coming from a guy who just now got the book, and I'm saying get the book. You guys have been telling me this for the past couple months in the comments, and again, I know I'm circling back on this whole theme, but let's go over it one more time. Getting just... The price of admission of getting Geddy's memoir is worth hearing the story that continues after we lose Neil. That makes sense? That was a horrible sentence. Meaning, like, to us... A lot of us have shared the day that where we lost Neil. How tragic that was. I broke down and cried. Couldn't listen to music for 6 months. You know, that's my story. A lot of yours are similar. Losing Neil was, and still is, difficult on us. However, that's, for a lot of us, where the story ends, if you will. So now getting to hear Geddy's take. I do a lot of air quotes. I'm sorry. I swear it's a nervous thing for... So... I'm sorry. I'm joking. So anyway, hearing Geddy's tale, Geddy reciting this tale is amazing. So yeah, get Geddy's book. Hear a little bit more of what happened, after. So yeah. All right. Cask of 43. Hey, Stargazer, and then sorry, 40. Oh wait, are we talking drums now? You're saying 43 inches or whatever? I'll just let you guys talk. I gotta stop reading everything. By the way, thanks again for all the great video compilations and putting up our 50. Just started at 10. I know. Okay. Yes, all right. Number one, the latest video. 10 hours, 21 minutes, 12 seconds. Yeah, I'm not reinventing the wheel, and this is... You guys have seen a lot. This new video, though, is a collection of like the last 9 to 10 videos, okay? But my thought was I had one for Neil, I had one for Geddy, I had one for Alex, okay? And each one in their own right, sizable, pretty good size. Archival footage, again, I have lovingly borrowed these from Rush and from their DVD and Blu-ray collections. Okay, you know where the source is. I list them all in the description. And again, I'm not trying to steal, but I've borrowed them so I can build us something new to enjoy. You know the gist. But it made sense to me to have those 3 videos in one video. Okay? So this video is Neil, and then there's a Neil Illustrated, and then there's Geddy, and there's an Alex section, and then I go into some lyric deep dive all the way to up into the last 2 live shows. And it turned out to be 10 hours. What's crazy is, so I get all this edited in my Avid timeline. It's a beautiful little thing, right? So say I have all this blue on my timeline, right? Well, the Avid will highlight these sections in like orange or in different colors along the way, telling me that I have duplicated frames, even just one frame out of 10 hours. If it's duplicated along the timeline of all these different videos, I know where they are. So that's what I did. I did my best to zoom in, and I chopped out intelligently. Therefore, there's not too many repeated sections and stuff, right? I didn't want to be repeating the same clips. So really, it's pretty much 10 hours of fresh stuff. I just air quoted again. So anyway, this is all me just saying you're welcome and thank you for watching. But I really wanted to have all 3, Alex, Geddy, and Neil together. And I threw some extra stuff into the pie mix, and we ended up with a 10-hour pie. Pretty ridiculous. Anyway, I'm just saying thank you back to you. I don't expect anyone in their right mind to have the time or patience to watch this whole thing. But if you want to come back and watch it in sections or pieces, that'd be great. So anyway, thank you for bringing it up. I'm reading your stuff about Fountain. We're going to talk about Fountain some more. Yep, thanks, Matt. My favorite part. Cool. All right, so you guys are chatting it up. Awesome. That was a lot of... Oh, thank you, Stargazer. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. I was trying to be biting. Man, I love that you guys are here. Thank you. So yeah, we've talked to Sir Echo. We've talked about a lot of things. Let's go there for a second. You don't stack CDs on top of each other without cases. No, never. Every one of my CDs is in its proper case. Of course. Are you kidding me? And I've joked about this before. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I mean, I swear, how many versions of Snakes and Arrows was there? Like this one, as you know, has the 5.1 version on it. Oh, inside I have the all that video disc that came with the Retrospective 3. Anyway, it just happened to be in here. But yeah, you know, so many versions, but this one had a fantastic Snakes and Arrows. This version, all right, this boxed version of Snakes and Arrows, the 5.1 version, had a fantastic documentary. Fantastic documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's hard to find too. I found deep on YouTube once that someone had posted it. It wasn't that good of a quality or anything like that. And I've tried to play this, and I've not been able to play this in one of my modern computers. It's almost impossible to get a CD, DVD, and or Blu-ray player. I mean, meaning it's becoming more and more. Now, of course, back here in my Avid system, I have, there's one. I have a Blu-ray burner in that. And I don't even have it in this tower here, my other workstation. The point is this. This was like MVI. It was like an interactive CD/DVD hybrid disc. You know, that's what the industry has always done. As we move from one format to another, they would then have these hybrid... You probably remember, there was a time where they had CD on one side and Blu-ray on the other. Or the time where there was a whole war between will it be Blu-ray or HD DVD. And there was a time where you could get HD DVD, which is a different type of technology. But the industry chose Blu-ray, right? And then we went all Blu-ray. Now, I say all that to say that this is one of those hybrid discs. And none of my computers will play it. I've tried every hurdle. And I've gone in and looked for the individual and tried to play back the video. Anyway, really disappointed that modern stuff cannot play this. Rush... It'd be great if you pulled an archive and gave us this documentary again. All right? The Snakes and Arrows documentary. That'd be fantastic. What was that called, by the way? You guys probably help me out with that. So anyway, that's my little take on the whole hybrid disc. But yeah, we had a lot of versions of Snakes and Arrows. Aaron, you keep circling back to crop dusting. I'm trying to escape the embarrassing story in dreams that I had about my kid farting all over the globe, and you keep coming back to it. I love it. The camera eyes where we can hear Geddy's belch. I did not know that, Stargazer. I'm reading, so no. Okay. Stargazer, I can't be the only one that heard of that. No, I had not heard that. Jeffrey. Hey, Jeffrey. Everyone say hi to Jeffrey. Hey, man, I think that was the first time you've been in here. Thanks for being here, man. I read Geddy's, you read the book, and this is where Professor gets... Yeah. I was just talking about that. I have not read to that point, or at that point yet. Point is, I know it's in there. Geddy talking about Neil being sick. And that could be a tough read. So thanks for bringing it up, man. I can give you the model number of the cheap Sony Blu-ray player that plays hybrids. Oh. 120? I have a couple Blu-ray players, but yeah, you know, that's what it takes. You're right on that. It'll take some older tech, basically. Now, some of them may have the depth of backward compatibility, which I assume is the one you're talking about, even video CDs, right, okay? And what it has to do with, it's simple software code inside the machine, right? Different codec sets, abilities to read different file and folder structures and stuff that... So anyway, all that's to say that yes, he can probably read it. So yeah, I would love that. In fact, if you share it now, I'll write it down. So when Neil said bacon, he means to say ice is very poignant. And they sell it on Amazon. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Mike. I'd love to know. Of course, I could probably look that up, but I'd love to know the model number. Okay, and that would be helpful to have because again, you guys, you may be like me where I still have and buy physical media. I still own all my physical media. I want to keep owning my physical media, meaning my CDs, my Blu-rays, my DVDs, my VHS tapes, my cassettes. You know what physical media is. But why? Because, I don't want everything in the cloud. I don't want everything being owned by some corporation. I want to own the physical, and I can best support Rush, for example, by actually buying the stuff. Okay? And I put my literal money where my mouth is, and because I believe in supporting artists. So, yeah, I'd love to know that. Of course, you guys do know, and you can think me silly for bringing it up because you mentioned the possible belch, right? From Geddy, that the beginning of what Counterparts animate begins with Neil counting. And if you haven't heard that before, turn up beginning of animate, and you can hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da 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 da, and then Neil cuts in and the band starts. So really cool. They actually hear Neil. Neil had a beautiful baritone to bass voice, didn't he? Just a great voice. That's why it's been such a treat and honor for me to reshare these clips, going down memory lane with Neil, him telling his story, him talking about, anyway, it's just because just listening to him, what a voice. And if you haven't listened to it yet, you've probably read Clockwork Angels. If you haven't, you should. But also the audiobook version, okay? When you get the audiobook version of Clockwork Angels, that's Neil reading it. It's great. It's great. And of course, I know, I don't have to say it. Everything we hear and see and listen to of him in any different way now, of course, has this extremely bittersweet edge to it. That goes without saying, but I'm just saying audibly, it's a beautiful listen because Neil has a great voice. So there it is. The Sony BDP RX 6700. Cool. I got it right here. Thank you, Matt. Writing it down right now, man. So yeah, Matt is sharing. If you have any legacy media that might be older, even like video discs, a lot of times they will not play in the modern players from Blu-ray and so on. Well, and even in the computer trays, right? And because I've tried them, okay? I've tried everything from Windows 7 all the way to 11. I don't own any Apple products, but I've tried them there. And I've tried them in all my local players inside this house. Matt is sharing a player that has a lot more compatibility, which is fantastic because that means that I have the potential now to play back this fantastic documentary on Snakes and Arrows. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man. It was authoritative. Yeah, local pyro saying Neil's voice was authoritative. So it's a 2016 model? That makes sense, right? The sucker's 8 years old. My head just exploded. You have to select the disc layer from the menu. I have done... Okay. Heard, brother. Okay. All right, guys. Maybe it doesn't matter if I know what you're talking about, but I'm so freaking curious at this point. I'd like to know the cask of 39. Are we talking like... Is this Macallan? Is this... Just help me out. Just somebody give me what that... I don't even know what you're talking about. Rickenbacker, I wish we could have seen the day when that goofy-looking drummer showed up. I know. It's wonderful to hear that story of Neil, from Neil's perspective and from Geddy's perspective, and they're so in sync, these two different sides of that story. Showing up in a Pinto? My grandmother had a Pinto. A brown pinto. I mean, you don't get the classic definition of a rolling turd than a pinto, which were notorious for breaking down or catching fire. Point is, not a great car. So the fact that Neil rolls up in a pinto is just fantastic. And how he's fit a set in there, can't imagine. So to say, yes, I agree. I would love more detail into that. Which I'm curious, and you guys can probably let me know if they actually share that, if Geddy does in his memoir. I wonder if he does. I haven't read it all. Jeffrey, I've seen Rush on 12 tours. They are the best ever. My first concert of the guys in moving. Oh, nice. I can't imagine seeing movie. Vic, thank you for Outhouse on Wheels. If I haven't noticed you here yet, Vic, welcome. I'm glad you're here, bro. Awesome. The camera, I don't have the timestamp on, but after a few minutes, just prior to payments, my team. Okay. The drummer in my band back in the day had a Pinto. No way. Wow. I have a terrible memory. I guess it was closer to 49, but refreshing. Okay. I'm starting to catch up now. Not that it's important that I catch up to everything, but, until next time, hey, Aaron, thank you for being here, brother. You've been a great addition to the team. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. You have a good night. And by the way, I know the Super Bowl's starting soon. I honestly don't, which begs the point. Do I care personally? No. I'm not a football guy. I've never been a big sports guy. I'm a music nerd. I'm a music guy. Can you be both? Obviously, I'm not saying that either. But I am saying this, that my wife wanted to watch the Super Bowl. And so therefore, I'm wondering what time it is right now. Yeah, but it's starting real soon. So we should probably cut this off soon. That's a horrible way to put it. Meaning, we may have to say goodnight. And therefore, we'll let you guys get to the big game. And I just air quoted again. But I appreciate you guys so much. I need to go check in with her. And, oh my goodness, I think the last time we did this, I mentioned we're having steaks. Well, we still have like 2 in the fridge. I'm looking forward to steak tonight, guys. I don't know about you. I love my steak. I love a good steak. So I'm looking forward to that too. So if you guys have anything else, my family had a Pinto. You had one too. Wow, Ford sold a lot of those, didn't they? What the? Until the news started covering exploding. Yeah, can you imagine, right? Hey, honey, you love our new Pinto? And then you hear this explosion in the backyard. What the? Of course, there's which one company had the Fiero, an appropriately named car. Anyway, I'm just vamping now. But see, Jeffrey, the voices you can hear on Witch Hunt are the boys. Yes, I did know that. Thank you, Jeffrey. I heard that they went outside or out back or something, and they were kind of all doing a mob yelling and stuff, right? And that is them and the crew, I believe. So thank you, Jeffrey. You're right. Those are the voices on Witch Hunt. I have no idea what's for dinner. Oh. A lot of people do the whole, Super Bowl thing, right? Chips and whatever. I don't know what people do for Super Bowl. Like I said, I'm not a big football guy. I'm not ashamed to say it. Growing up, and this has been my last story, and we'll sign off. Growing up, I grew up in a house where my dad was a Renaissance man, artist. He built sailboats. He could build instruments. He could play instruments. My dad's, he built his own ham radio towers. That's my kind of dad, right? That's who my dad was. This Renaissance man, artist dude. And that's the kind of environment I grew up in. And therefore, there wasn't football on the TV on every Sunday, right? Didn't exist in my house. Now, when I got to college, I've mentioned Joel many times on here. I get to college, and my friend Joel, who's from Texas, huge Dallas Cowboy fan. So I started watching the Dallas Cowboys. Every Sunday, we'd watch the Cowboys. This was the Troy Aikman. I would blank at his name right now. Anyway, Troy Aikman and his running back. Point is, it was that era of the Cowboys. And we would watch and we'd be cheering Cowboys. Because I grew up I love the Patriots, right? because that was kind of my hometown team. You know, New England Patriots. Love the Celtics. I got my Larry Bird back here. And of course, Red Sox, right? That's my neck of the woods. But when I got to college, it was all Dallas Cowboys. So enjoy the, hey, thank you. Yeah. Oh, I love a good ribeye. Yeah, it's got to be either ribeye or a filet. Ribeye because just, it's a ribeye. Filet, though, if you don't feel like dealing with the fat, you get a really good thick filet, cook it medium rare, your Bob's your uncle. You're golden. Because you can eat every ounce of it, literally, of a filet. Ribeye, yeah, you got to get in between the fat and the marbling in the different sections of the steak. Is it worth every second? Yes. Oh, I love a good ribeye. So, man, we got me thinking about steaks now. So, yeah, the ones in my fridge right now are a couple of fillets that my wife got at some butcher or something. So, we're going to have that and some asparagus. Can't wait. Yes, I love a good ribeye as well. Matt. All right, man. Chicago bro for the Bears. Nice. Vic, hey, buddy. Let's see. Rush never played a halftime show. Wouldn't that have been amazing? As if it ever happened, but that would have been an amazing halftime show, right? Yeah. Yeah, imagine Rush playing a halftime show for the Super Bowl. Or just like Rush, yes. Like just get some prog bad boys in there. That'd be amazing. Oh, what an idea, right? In another world, another time. Stargazer, yeah, take care. This was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad that you're here. Bye, Stargazer. Man, I appreciate you, brother. And all your comments and being here. To wrap this up, I am blown away, guys. Because I'm just thankful that we have each other now. And that we're learning, we're becoming friends. And a lot of us already have become friends. Your comments, I've told you before, make me smile. I chuckle and I smile all the time, and I enjoy hearing from you. And we're going to be entering a new phase here at the Loudboy Experience. Doing this whole Rush Hour, Rush Talk Show is one of them. I have some other big things coming up. Kind of a paradigm shift. It'll still be the same stuff, if you will, but with a different take. Okay? So I have some exciting things that I'm really hoping to do soon here. But I'm enjoying this process. I hope you're enjoying this process. And more importantly, enjoying each other's time and company. Talking about our favorite band, Rush. Can we start talking about people passing gas and breaking wind? Yeah, you better believe we can. We can go anywhere with this sucker. Wherever you want to take it. That's where I want to go too. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. You do well. Enjoy the game if you're going to watch it. By the way, Geddy's saying, oh, Canada, cool. I'm just checking in with a couple more comments here. It makes sense he gives, whoa, are you a ham? Yeah, my dad is a ham radio guy. Yeah, WB1GGS. I grew up hearing that a lot. And he's the old school kind of ham radio, right? Where you had those call letters before they changed. I think they were like a 6, WB1GG. Anyway, the point is they changed. But I've heard that the WB1, that series of ham call letters for ham radio, are really old school. And it's my dad, old school. But yeah, my dad built his own massive 3-story ham radio tower back then. Talked to people around the world. Before the internet, you could talk to anyone around the world, who is also a ham radio. So if that's what you were asking, that's the answer you got. So, hey, bye to all Matt. Hey, let's say bye to Matt. Thank you, guys. Hey, guys, I appreciate you. Hail to you all. Hail to our Rush family. You guys have an amazing night. I can't do this without you. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. You guys take care. See you next time. Bye.